Hi guys, we are back. Welcome back to the TT Wild podcast. My name is Adrian. I am your only host today. Sarah is, we're all slowly coming back from kind of our personal stuff. So we will be back together next week, I think, filming our first duo episode in so long. And guys, when I tell you, I'm like finding it so hard to breathe right now because I've kind of forgotten how to podcast. And you can see we are in our new set. Well, this is my new apartment. I used to live in Fidei with Sarah and Caleb and Amy. And now we're finally out of that place. And you will notice that the lighting is impeccable. Yeah, we've been gone for about 2 weeks-ish, podcast-wise. We still have shorts kind of rolling out. Part of that's because Sarah went on a little vacation trip, celebrating the ending of her fellowship. I will definitely let her talk about that a little more, or you could tune into her personal channel. But then... yeah, I was supposed to kind of I was supposed to do the majority of the processes by myself, and I thought I was going to be okay. I think I did 1 or 2 episodes on my own accord, and then afterwards, I think with the move and everything, and then work just got really busy, and I ran out of bandwidth. But thank you to Sarah. She's just been working tirelessly kind of in the background through her vacation, kind of helping out with the shorts and stuff, and bro, I really appreciate you. Again, I feel like you thank me a lot for kind of like shouldering a lot of the burden like while you're on vacation. But dude, if we were not working together, I would not be able to put out all those freaking shorts. Anyways, today with our first topic back, I want to discuss the myth of being ready. And I think that's really relevant because a lot of my friends we're entering our mid-20s now. Funny thing, I saw a TikTok where our mid-20s are actually our early 20s, I think. And then just how like our generation wise, everything gets pushed back a couple years. Anyways, everyone is doing like their masters, or they want to switch jobs, or they're living in new places. And I don't know. I think the fun thing that I get to see is that now that we have adult money, a lot of us kind of try to explore our previous passions, whether it's like filming, videography, photo shoots, even just like picking up basketball again and stuff like that. And I love that because I feel like we're kind of like rediscovering ourselves after like all these years of like grinding. And I don't know, I feel like the midlife crisis happens because we were kind of sold on like, I wouldn't say a lie, but a narrative that like, if you do college all these years and you get a good looking job, you will end up happy. And I wouldn't say we're not happy. I think we're really privileged to live the life that we all have. I'm speaking for me and my friends. Obviously, this feels kind of weird for me because I just finished grad school and I haven't been working for a year. So it does feel kind of funky that everyone is in their phase and I'm just like still really passionate about my job, which I still have in healthcare. But going back to the topic, it's just like everyone is trying new things and I kind of love that, you know? I feel like a lot of friends who, I'll say this, very good at video editing, very good at filmography, have a very good eye for like certain like aesthetics and whatnot, and they make videos and it does very well. It does very well. But I always tell so many of my friends, like, if y'all just took it a little more seriously, oh my God, you guys would be like so good at what you do. You know, like if you want to drop your corporate career and go pursue like a career in like filming things like travel influencer vibes, you know, those like Fujifilm aesthetics, which I don't really know too much about, but I think that's what it's called. You would do so well on social media. You probably go viral. But I also realize that like not everyone makes content to succeed. And I think that's very important. Make content for yourself, right? So yeah, I wouldn't say this is going to be podcast vibe exactly. It might just be me ranting. As you can tell, I look a little sticky, but that's because I've just come back from my run. And you know, when you get the creative juices going, you just got to film a podcast, okay? All right. So the myth of being ready, I think kind of stems from, there's a little bit of fear to that, right? I think we're all afraid of failure. no one wants to not succeed, right? Like, no one wants to do something and be bad at it. No one wants to do stuff and receive poor, like angry critics, or someone said like you're shit at that. But like, honestly, I feel like a lot of the accolades that I hold in my life, I feel like I had to do them a couple times before I got them. So I'm going to list off top 3 accolades. Sadly, they're all like education or achievement based. Shout out being Asian. First of all, my diploma from my grad school. Loved my grad school experience. Oh my God, it was so hard. I can tell you so many stories about like me almost flunking out of the program. Like, literally, wow. My first year, we have anatomy. And essentially, like, anatomy is like the foundation of being a PT, right? Like, you have to know the human body, you have to know the nerves, you have to know the bones. Okay, that's amazing. But here's the kicker with the program. If you get an A, let's say you get an A in every single other class, okay? There's maybe like 7 or 8, I think. And hypothetically, let's say in anatomy, you get, I think the cutoff was, it was a 75. If you get below a 75, they drop you from the program. Obviously, with like a chance to come back next year, like matriculate into the other class. And yeah, I dead ass on my final exam for anatomy was, I think, literally point 0.015, something extremely small from dropping out of my grad program. And that's insane considering I'm a full-fledged PT right now. Like, it's hard. This anatomy class isn't just like skin and bones. There's a didactic portion, which is about like an hour to... a lot of times it's 2-hour testing, and a lot of times we do take the 2 hours just because it's so freaking long. You have to know the bones, you have to know the muscles, you have to know like what landmarks the muscles pass through, and you could say it's like extraneous to know all those things, but like honestly, you need to know your anatomy. Okay, and then after that you jump directly into like an anatomy cadaver lab. And oh my God, the cadaver labs were insane because it's literally an open cadaver that we have been working on the whole year. Our professors are always like, if you cut a bad cadaver, you're going to get bad like test prompts. And then there were often times when our professor would be like, yo, your cadavers were not good enough. Me and my assistant professor are going to go in the middle of the night and tag and cut your cadavers open and pin something crazy. And like, it's just, sorry, I'm like getting off topic here a little bit, but like just the way that I'm talking about it and how passionate about it, like the fact that I literally almost failed out of my PT program, like still traumatizes me to this day. But then I like look back and I'm like, I'm so proud I finished that. But also, oh my Lord, I had to work my butt off to stay in that program. And if you talk to any of my PT friends right now, like, I was for sure not like top of the class. Shout out to my program for like the friends I had because they inspired me to like work harder. Like low key, if I could just do the bare minimum and pass, that's kind of what I did. But like I would like a lot of my friends were like either studying together or like really pushed me to like be better. And low key, it's my fault. I was just so burnt out from like 4 years of undergrad and then jumping straight into grad school. So I'm not going to blame it on that. I know part of it is me. But yeah, there are just so many nights that like I could have done so much better if I just worked harder. Like I failed my, oh my God, like just, wow. My transcripts will never be revealed to the public. But, like to this day, I believe I'm a good PT. My patients love me. The hospital loves me that I work at. So again, it's like going back to the fear thing. Like I know you are scared of failing, but what if you do achieve it? Where does this fear of failure come from? Failure of critics, right? Let's just say hypothetically you put something out and you got 68 dislikes because you're just starting off and people are like, boo, your content's ass. Okay, but what about everyone else who's telling you your content is good? And those, first of all, are probably, there's going to be a couple strangers in that pool. There's going to be your family, your friends, and like people who know you. So isn't the opinion of someone who knows you so much more important than like the opinion of a stranger? Because the stranger only knows you through, let's just say it's a short 15 seconds of your clip. They probably haven't even watched a whole video. In fact, you probably clipped it out of context to get views. But the people who know you understand truly what you're saying. And they didn't say your content was bad. Maybe they told you a couple pointers that you can work on. So, like, just zooming out, if you have a fear of critics, I don't think there's anything to be afraid of. I think whoever you are, whatever you're starting, whatever you're going to create, always lean on your close circles first. Always rely on their opinions first. I don't think your friends will lie to you. I don't think they would. Even if they did, there's still love, you know? Other accolades that I have had to try twice at. I almost didn't get into PT school because I got a C in chemistry. My piano certificate, if you did like the London like Royal Music Testing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's called ABRSM. And essentially level 8 is like the highest level that you can do. I think it took me 3 tries. That's crazy. It took my cousin 1 try and she scored the highest score there was like ever to be. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? And then what else did I do? Oh, things I'm not proud of that I tried multiple times at and still failed. My ACT I took 4 times, and I took like a mini camp, and I got the same score all 4 times. And here I am. I'm just like, wow, I was so stressed back then, but you know, I'm happy I pushed through, and here I am. You know, graduated from a graduate program, working as a PT in New York. So it just goes to say, like, I know, like, with starting a new thing, there is that fear aspect. But I think really think about what is holding you back. I don't think failure should be something like that. I think failure is the best way for you to learn. One thing that Sarah and I talked about was, just going back to the podcast, is when we started off, we were like, how many videos should we actually put out? And we talked long and hard about it. And there's a reason why we post 2 to 3 shorts a week. Actually, not even that. Actually, rewinding that, I wish y'all saw how much planning we did before we actually dropped our first episode. I think we had like 4 different videos planned. We had filmed all 4, and then our editing was like so bad at the time, and the lighting was so bad at the time, and the audio, we only had 1 mic. And you know what? Like, if we didn't take our time to drop the podcast, I don't think it would be like the podcast that it is right now, you know? I feel like what this like 1 year, oh, by the way, it is our 1 year anniversary. It happened 5 days ago on June 16th. Wish the TT Wild podcast a happy birthday 1 year. We are so, I'll talk more about this in a sec, but like, we didn't feel comfortable with ourselves in this podcast process until really about like January. Like, it took us, wow, almost half the year to get things right. And even to this day, we had a rebrand, and we're always having meetings on different layouts, different structures. Like, even something that you were successful at, there's so much change that needs to happen. I think failing, like, okay, A, don't be scared of it, but B, like, there's so much you can learn from doing something wrong. You learn what not to do. Like, if you're starting from scratch, there's so many ways you can do one thing. Like, even podcast aside, like, let's say you had to solve a problem or like start a company. There's so many ways you can solve this one problem. If you like somehow find the best way to do it and you go viral and you pop off and you make money, like, good on you. But like, I would say majority of businesses, of content, brands, companies, even like self-work, like, it doesn't come like that. I feel like a couple episodes ago, we talked about like the most important things, like grit, you know, like, you got a fun personality to succeed, your content has to be interesting. But well, even on the grit side, like, if you don't love what you do, like, truly, like, for me, it's this podcast. For you, it could be your company. It could be the videography that you do. If you truly don't love what you're doing, it's not going to like sustain itself. You're going to burn out. But yeah, if you're scared of failing, I would say fail now. Fail as many times as you can. Get as many C's as you can and figure out how to go from there, because life doesn't stop when you fail. I think you just discover so much more depth to life than just like success, you know. And you can also appreciate the good parts of success when it does come to you. Okay, and success doesn't always mean monetary reward. Success can come many ways. Self-fulfillment. That's all I got for you. Just self-fulfillment. God damn, filming a podcast is hard. Respect to Emma Chamberlain. Let's talk about hard work for one sec. I do want to put into perspective. So we set out a goal for our podcast. It was to beat Sarah's personal channel by the 1 year mark. We beat it, not by a lot, but I think, okay, at the time when we looked at Sarah's personal channel, it was about, I think 204, 206-ish. And then it had slowly grown to 209. And then when we hit 210, I think her channel randomly hit 210 too. So if you somehow subscribe to both, I hate you. No, I'm playing. But yeah, like there's always been like in the back of my head, like what is success to me for this podcast, right? I know we talk about this so much, but like I just want to be clear to you, like we're not doing this to be famous. We're not doing this to make money. It'd be nice to be, I don't want to be famous, but it'd be nice to make money. But I just want like people to feel like what they're going through is like heard, you know? That's all we want, a community, okay? Did we achieve our community? I think 210 is not bad of a number. Again, perspective. If you threw that 210 into like a room, like in my studio apartment right now, y'all would not fit, okay? And that to me is a lot of people, all right? But let's just like, I feel like, again, zoom out, right? Let's compare our podcast to a company's, okay? I did some research. Microsoft took 6 years before it blew up, okay? Apple took 8 years to blow up. Google took 3 years. Unicorns exist, okay? Google's an example. They also did revolutionize web engine searching, so yay them. Doak, the podcast that we somehow reference a lot, 4 to 5 years. And this is during COVID, which is like, damn, dude. Let's make this slightly more relatable because we're not all trying to build companies. We're not trying to build like podcasts. It took you maybe 3 to 4 years to finish your bachelor's degree and maybe more. Like grad school, it took me 7 years before I could call myself a working professional. Hypothetically, let's say you're trying to build up whatever this is, right? Like hypothetically, you're trying to grow your brand or whatever. I don't think you should expect success in 1 year. I think at least the amount of time it took you to work on your degree, it should take you that amount of time to work on your brand or your company or whatever. And it's not even just like work, it's like pursuing it every single day, you know, like that's how we got our degrees. We were studying the library, studying for exams. We did go out, but you know, like that level of intensity, right? So I feel like if you are honest with yourself and you have not been doing that, that's completely okay. Completely okay. All right. Other things I want to talk about. So let's say hypothetically you want to try something new and you're still scared. Lean on your inner circles. I know I talked a little bit about this, but I think one thing you have to realize, like when you start these things, making a video, you're not doing these things alone. You're allowed to ask for help. You're allowed to ask for mentorship. You're allowed to like lean on your friends. I shamelessly tell my brother, dude, like the video for the algorithm. And I'm like, at least get your fiance to do it too. And it's like, well, that's a little desperate. But like, what's wrong with that? What's so bad about caring about my podcast so bad that I'm asking someone to support me? You know, lean on those friends. Ask for mentorship. There's nothing wrong with not knowing how to start. And that's why, like, I think it's like, if you look at the process of like creating something, it's so like obscure, and I think that's the beauty of it. You could literally do anything and start, but also with that, it's so overwhelming. You're like, where do I start? Again, what camera do I get? What equipment do I get? I'm trying to save on like money right now. Like it's not making any money. What can we do? But like, ask for help, ask for guidance, ask for mentorship, you know what I love? So like Rebecca does like, I wouldn't say she's you know what? She's a content creator. She makes these like beautiful like travel videos, and I always tell her like, hey girl, do things that you love, make things that you enjoy, make things that will make your friends laugh. And I feel like she's been like kind of like taking my advice for it. Again, I'm not some like content guru, but I just want her to make funny shit, you know? And she makes them. And it's so, I think her like sense of humor is so like funny and so witty. But what I love is that like, if you go to like her last like 5 videos, the ones commenting are always her like best friends, like Slay Queen, or like, oh shit, like cutest couple, like, you know, like I just love that they always have her back no matter what video is, no matter how many views, you know, that at least like 5 to 10 of those views were your best friends. And I think there's so much power in that, just knowing that obviously when you create content, there's a level of like, I hope people see this, people will see it, okay? And you will get that support from your friends, okay? So fail as hard as you can, fail as fast as you can, and just know that your friends will always be there to pick you up, okay? Shout out Aaron and his fiance Audrey. His wedding's in, actually, I would not dox him. I'll let him talk about that. Oh, guys, I think the last thing I want to like kind of talk about with like the being ready stuff is like, yo, go bet on yourself. And what do I mean by that? Like, you don't understand truly how hard you can work. Does that kind of make sense? Like, think about like the hardest you've ever worked. Think about how passionate you are about this project. Think about like what this could be, and you're just so in love with the idea of it. How will you not succeed, right? Like, let's just say, like, again, cut out the monetary value, cut out the self-fulfillment stuff. Like, with those 3 factors in life, and you really find something you really like, how could you not do well, right? Like, the most successful CEOs, the most successful content creators are good at what they do because of their obsession for it. Like, discipline goes out the window when you live and breathe what you love to do. And I know, like, when you start, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't know if I have unlimited bandwidth, I don't know if I have the energy to do this. Like, if anything, like right now, okay, first of all, I love my job. Okay, I love my work. I love my coworkers. I love the management team. Like, they're all great. But at times, on the worst days of my PT days, I am like, I get to make money and then take this money home and buy new equipment for our podcast and sit on this beautiful couch that's making my back hurt and talk about like random things. And I love that. I love to talk. I am so freaking, I think I'm an ENFP. You know what? People tell me I'm an E. I swear to God, I'm an I. I'm a talkative. I'm a super talkative. I don't know anymore. Anyways, yeah, like life is going to happen no matter what, right? Like, you have to live life, but don't let life dictate the ending. You can do whatever you want with your life. You can choose to live a fulfilling life. You can also choose. Hey guys, when I'm making this podcast, I'm not saying if you're in your 20s, you have to create something or be different. Live a life that you want to live. I just want people who are uncomfortable to break out of their shell, you know? I often think like maybe I'm wasting too much time on this podcast, truly. Again, we're editing, we're generating ideas, we're filming the actual podcast. It's New York, you gotta take the sweaty trains. It's bad. But there is just some level of like, I am grounded in what I believe this podcast to be. And it's a little Delulu, which is okay. This is my baby with Sarah. Like, this is our like media, like podcast child, right? You have to be a little Delulu. But we are both so in tune with what we believe this podcast to be. And that's okay. That's all it takes for us to keep it going. Okay? Wow. I feel like this podcast has been a little better than the last time I did a solo one. And a little more accurate with what it would be like if you were talking to me over coffee. I just blabber nonstop. But yeah, guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope you find this episode a little chaotic, but I promise more orders coming. Sarah will be back on our podcast, hopefully by next week, okay? Happy birthday, TT Bio Podcast. Thank you guys for 210 subscribers. We set this goal together, and honestly, it's a little crazy that we technically beat our goal. We're past the 206, 204 that we had originally. Yeah, you know, our goal should have been 1 million. 1 million subscribers. If you are friends, or if you're a stranger that is now our friends, like, again, I promise this is the last time we harp on this. Truly, from the bottom of our heart, thank you so much. This podcast, if you had told Adrian that he would be filming a podcast on a Saturday in his New York apartment, I would say you're crazy. But I'm so happy that I tried. So, like, guys, try yourself. Build a podcast, build a brand, build your cinematography thing. If you need help editing, I will edit for you. My editing, I'm so fast at editing now. I can't promise on a quality, but I will help you out. I would so love if like people made podcasts together, like just a bunch of small little podcasts glazing each other, like there's so much power in community, guys. And just know that like whatever you start, whatever you do, like I want to see it. Like if you have no friends, I say you have no one to show your content to, I want to see your stuff. The TTYL podcast wants to see your stuff. Sarah and I would love to help you. And like, if we could just do a little something for you to make your life a little easier to create the vision of your dreams. Like, hey, we're two like regular individuals, but if anything we said today resonates with you, like, hey, reach out to us. Okay. So 3 lessons. Just stop writing ideas in your journal. Stop wondering about where to start. If you even film with your iPhone, oh my God, that's so much better than not doing it. And then number 2, fail as fast as you can, fail as many times as you can. Learn how to make the best content in the world. Be the best person that you can. Build the best company that you can. Okay. No idea is too small of an idea. If you just start, I promise. There are a bajillion ways to do one thing, and a bajillion things to solve something. Just make sure that it's true to yourself, okay? And number 3, I think be so freaking delulu that no matter what anyone says about your stuff, you're still like happy that you did it. Wow. I feel like I'm giving dad vibes. The sun is going down, sadly, so we're probably going to end this podcast soon. Thank you guys for tuning in, for listening. If anything I said resonated with you guys today, please drop a comment, drop a like. Subscribe. Everything that you guys do to build this community, we love hearing from you guys. It helps. Okay. If this is your first time to the podcast, welcome to the TTOL podcast. Normally my co-host is also here, and yeah, it's just supposed to be your fun little vibes, FaceTime vibes, messy vibes. I don't care that I'm sticky. My creative juices were flowing, so I filmed the podcast. As always, guys, we are going to be posting more consistently in the next few weeks now that we're both back in New York. Yeah, I'm excited for this new... I'm excited for year 2 of TTY podcast. Like, last thing. As long as you start, you will always grow. You're already at rock bottom, right? It's just going to go up from here. And that's what I believe the TTY podcast is going to be. Okay? Keep listening to us, guys. I appreciate it so much. If you guys have learned anything, I'm just rambling now. Thank you guys so much. We will see you guys next week in next week's episode. And with that, TTYL.